You straight up cuckooed that dude, bro. Oh my God.
You've got all your Charger gear on because
feeling fresh as hell.
Well, you guys better enjoy it.
The fans loved it.
You have to love what you're seeing on tape if you're a Chargers fan, especially for the future with Justin Herbert.
On the move and throws and touchdown.
Do this together. Players, coaches, staff, fans, together we can create something truly special.
Stay tuned for some good content.
doggone it, folks. Not the way we wanted to start, but we're going to press on as we do here. Welcome back to the Charger Chat. I'm your co-host, Will Dugson, with my buddy, Kev Huggin Duggan.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Let's not forget Kyle the Coach Duggan. I know.
He doesn't have anything to say.
His face says it all.
Says it
Say
all.
no more, Kyle. All right, gang. Well, we are going to obviously talk about everything that happened this past Sunday, both good and bad. We've got a fan focus lined up and a God Almighty, just one of the biggest Ask Boltfams I think I've ever seen on this show. So
Yeah.
We will waste no time. Let's start it off here at the top. Do we want to talk at all about our trip, our experience, what we did, what happened?
That was the
Start with
highlight.
some positives, yeah.
That was the highlight of the whole weekend for sure. We got on a plane, Adam and I did, and we flew out to visit Kai
and
Kai.
boy, were our arms tired.
Oh man, there's a lot of flying. 4 hours of it.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Oh.
But we got to hang out with Coach and Mom Coach.
Yes.
We got the whole setup. So
Yes.
it was really fun to get out there and hang out.
We did our Hot Ones challenge, which is like a shadow of a memory at this point. How scared were you going into the Hot Ones
It was
challenge?
terrifying.
You no, don't undersell it. You were weeks. You were just like trying to find a way out of it.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as I made it out to be in my head.
Yeah.
But that being said, it was still an awful experience.
Oh, it was not.
It wasn't fun. Yeah.
I didn't die.
It was fun in the same way that like
Getting kicked in the nuts is fun.
by your brother or your
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah.
While
Everybody
somebody's
points and
spitting
laughs.
on you and somebody's peeing all over them. Yeah, a whole bunch of that.
All right, so we did that, and then Sunday morning came. We woke up bright and early.
What do you do when we're going to our first game of the season? You got a shotgun.
We do
Dude.
our shotgun tradition.
Got a shotgun.
I remember waking up and I was so excited for the game. It's like the first day of school. You don't want to be late, and so you wake up like, what time is it? Where am I? Where's my clothes? You know, I was like, I woke up. It was 7 a.m. I was like, I think it's time to go. It's kickoff. We got to get out of here.
I've overslept.
Yeah,
I really did. I thought I overslept and we missed the whole game. So
yeah.
but man, it's just this build up to this game was so.
It's one of those things where the expectations are so damn high that you're never going to meet them. We've been talking.
Week one is the hardest, dude. Week one is the hardest,
and we clearly didn't. Half of our team was awesome, unlike anything we've seen from a part of our team.
Yes,
the other half was the worst we've ever seen.
Dog doo-doo. Yeah.
So but guess what? Only thing that matters right now is that we can't go undefeated. That's the only thing that matters right now.
It's the only thing we lost.
That's the only thing we lost.
We lost our
Everything is still in
undefeatedness.
front of us. I honestly feel we just played a really, really good team.
Yeah.
And we'll get into it, but our stats show we would have beaten any other team in the league, I think, if we would have did what we did against somebody else.
Yeah, it was a rough game. I mean, going into the game, we stopped by Thunder Alley, Lightning
God, it was
Lane.
so much fun.
Shout out to everybody that stopped and say, hey,
Yeah.
I mean, that really was just the right
People
way
were
to
just
start the
throwing Modelo's at us because we stated on the previous episode that that's what we
Modelo's,
drink.
yellow
You get a Modelo,
shots, yeah.
you get a Modelo.
You get a Modelo.
It was awesome.
There's too many people to shout out, but thank you, all of you, for making us feel so welcome at Thunder Alley. It really.
And Kevin, our fan focus from
he came and
last
sat
week.
with us.
He did, yes.
We came upon an extra ticket, and he came and sat with us for his birthday. And
It was so funny because Kevin walked with us all throughout Thunder Alley, and then we were like, "Oh, we've got this extra ticket. What do we do?" And we're like, let's just give it to Kevin. He's been with us this whole time.
Yeah.
And when I sat down with him, I was like, "So where were your seats?" He was like, "Down there."
He had
and
way
I was
better
like, "Wait a minute,
Why are you up here?
what are you doing up here?" And he's like, I wanted to sit with you guys. So that was really special, Kevin.
He was a great guy.
We really loved hanging out with you, bud. All right, well, let's get into it. Let's just hold our nose and jump in. There's some shameless positivity that came from Jason Reed, our good old friend over at the Bolt Beat. Said the last time that the Chargers started 0-1 in the season was 2018. Like today, Tyreek Hill had a massive game with 7 catches for 169 yards and 2 touchdowns. However, that Chargers team finished with a 12-4 record.
I like that take, Jason Reed. That is a shameless positive take.
Keep that Bolt beat shit coming.
It's just the first week is the hardest. This first game is what we've been looking to as like a lighthouse in the dim, creepy, scary off season.
Right.
It's like that thing that
Floating
you're looking
in the water.
to. Yeah.
What's that over there?
Coming.
Oh,
I
it's
see a
the
light.
week 1 opener. Do it.
And then all of a sudden, a tsunami just wipes you out.
No, a great white shark bites you in half. You're
about to
sitting,
get
you're
to
just
shore.
a bloody torso going, I
Yeah.
thought everything was going to be okay.
That's what happened on Sunday.
That's what it felt like for sure. We went to the game, started off a little scary because Miami was driving down the field, then all of a sudden a fumble recovered by Nick Williams,
Yeah.
of all people, the guy that
Welcome to the squad.
yeah,
And it was
starting
very
with the
much
Chargers.
just a Tua couldn't take a snap from under center type of situation.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
thought this was going to be a great start to an awesome day for us.
yeah. Then Chargers get the ball back, capitalize on
90
it, truck it down the field.
95 yards. So
Yeah.
the one, if you want to be positive and you want to look at something exciting, it's what our offense was able to do.
Yeah.
If you put up 34 points, you should be winning your football game.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just look at the offense. The way we ran the ball, we ran for 200 and how many yards? 234
Yeah.
yards. What the hell?
Yeah.
Dominated when we had the ball.
Yeah.
Justin looked great. Everyone looked great.
Yeah.
And then just the other side of the ball did not reciprocate at all.
Dude,
No.
it was just absolute dog trash on defense. It's just so confusing
Yeah.
because this is the same offense that we played last year, and everyone's like, "Oh, we took away everything in the middle. We forced Tua to throw outside." It's as if we forgot that that's what they like to do, and you didn't even make him make hard passes. Every single pass was wide. It was really wide open. Not many of them were even defended. We were just in a zone all game, and they were just zipping in and out of the zone. And we tried to go man. The Tyreek just ran right past whoever was defending him. The first series of the game, we had Khalil Mack out on Tyreek Hill as if he was going to defend him.
Yeah, Baltimore
okay.
posted something about that. It was pretty embarrassing.
Dude, but I mean, it's okay because you're obviously in a zone. He's not actually going to be defending him to any extent, but just looks silly. You're like, it's a dead tell that we're in zone, and they're just going to now pick you apart because they know what you're doing. So yeah, defensively, that was just so bad. Joey's 2 penalties in the first half that were kind of big. Like right to start the game, he jumps off sides. Like, how many times has that man jumped off sides? He's got to be up there in the career highs of Chargers history. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. That was just really, really hard to watch. The offense was awesome. But that defense, we just didn't, I don't know, like no one did anything. I went back and watched pieces of the game today. I couldn't sit and watch the whole thing because I was back with the kiddos, but it's just like, I was just like, meh. Even the big play, like JC Jackson getting a pick when they were down about to score again, and then he runs out at the 4-yard line. Like, Bozo, come on, here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He definitely had some brain fart moments.
There was, I mean, it was for a while very reminiscent of the Browns game back in 2021, where it was just like, we're up, we're down, we're up, we're down.
Yeah.
It's just a battle
Yeah.
between two teams to try to figure out who ends up on top, but it just ended in a way that was so disheartening. I mean, really, like you said, the defensive side of the ball was really the biggest disheartening part of it. I mean, they were able to keep Miami's rushing to 70 yards, which that's great and all.
Can't you do both? Like all last year, we were giving up the run and shutting down the pass.
Yeah.
Find the middle ground.
Got to find the middle ground. Because Tua ended up looking like an absolute superstar, throwing for 466 yards, 3 touchdowns, and the 1 interception. Like
466 yards.
It's a lot of yards.
And so many of them. Like I went back and watched. There was several third down, like big third down conversions that he just threw a great ball, put it in the right spot, and they were just picking us apart.
Yeah. Almost half of them going to Tyreek Hill, over 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle, who was on the injury report, still came out and had himself a game.
Yeah.
And he really spread the ball around. And on our side, Austin Eckler just having that one big ass run. Holy smokes, watching him run off to the races. He had over 117 yards and a touchdown.
Kelly looked great too.
Kelly looked fantastic.
Hard.
100 yards.
He ran hard, boy.
And they straight up split that. They each had 16 carries, which was like awesome to see that you kind of leaning into Joshua because he's pretty dominant running back when he goes, gets up north-south on that.
Mm-hmm. And on the receiving side, Keenan Allen, 76-yard game. Fantastic. He had that big long catch for 36 yards. So it was, everything should have gone the way for us, but there was just a couple of moments that if this would have happened or if that would have happened, just one. It didn't have to be all of it. Just one little moment could have changed everything about the game.
Before halftime penalty was one of the dumbest things I've seen.
That one was bad and avoidable. They're all
so
avoidable.
dumb.
But that one was beyond avoidable.
Right.
Yeah.
Like next level avoidable.
Yeah. Well, it was rough. It was a tough pill to swallow. It was tough walking out of the stadium. It's always sucks going to a game. So having the Chargers lose and walking out of the stadium with the opposing fans.
That's just the hardest part for me is like, everyone talks about how we don't have a home field advantage and we don't. We really don't. We don't have like what we saw on TV tonight with the Jets, where the whole freaking stadium is green and it's psycho, and then the game's over and the lights go out and it's green everywhere. It's like we lose and I have to get crap talk to me the whole way out of the stadium because there's so many freaking of the opposing team's fans. Yeah. It's like super hard. It's really, really hard to be a fan in a stadium that, even if you want to say it's 50-50, that still doesn't, that's not a home field. That's not a home field game. That's neutral.
Right. That's a neutral
game. So it
does.
It is hard to be a fan and go to these games when you lose.
Yeah. But, we got to hold our heads up and move on to the next one. Let's see. Here's a tweet here from Benjamin Solak. Hello, the Chargers. Why does it start with hello?
Hello.
The Chargers had one of the top 10 rushing games of the last decade against the Dolphins. Thank you for your time. So this was a stat Kevin found right before we started recording. Top 10 of all time rushing performances in the last century. Decade, excuse me. Wow.
I almost made that real old.
In the last decade, the game that the Chargers had on Sunday was tied for 7th in the top 10 of all time rushing games in the past decade. And it's the only game that resulted in a loss.
Out of the top 10, all the people on this list all won their game.
Everybody won their game except for us. Wow.
We found a way to do it.
Like freaking A. Yeah. You look at these rushings, like they didn't rush for 100. We didn't turn the ball over one time.
No.
And we still lost.
Yeah.
Sure enough.
Since 2000, teams that rushed for more than 200 yards, allowed fewer than 100 rushing yards, did not turn the ball over, and won the turnover margin by at least 2, were 110 to nothing before Sunday.
There were 110 wins and no losses. If you have those statistics.
Yeah.
Until we lost.
Yeesh.
Put a 1 on the board.
Hey guys, let's look at this positively. Let's look at this. Only one way to go from here on the defense.
Sure.
That's up.
It's got to be.
That's up.
It has to be.
I guess.
It can't be any worse than Sundays. Some not so shamelessly positive looks around Twitter. Michael Peterson tweeted out, entering Monday Night Football, Kenneth Murray is currently the lowest graded linebacker in the NFL from week 1 by PFF. His coverage grade of 30 was also the worst, while his 43.3 run defense grade was the 6th worst mark of the week.
It's pretty bad.
They're saying how this is going to be his breakout year, but I just kept seeing him, like, especially in coverage, was just a little off all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. It was a real rough game, I think, for all the linebackers. Like Kyle said, they were just hitting us in the middle, and they were almost nowhere to be found during those plays. So I don't know. I don't know what, I can't explain that. And then as far as injuries that might have been sustained, we did see Mike Williams get hit in the chin early on, went down, came out, and then came back in later on in the game. So that was a good sign.
Yeah.
But Daniel Popper tweeted out, Austin Eckler has an ankle injury, according to Brandon Staley. His status for Wednesday's practice is to be determined. Staley said. So
that's better than the Jets game we just saw and the craziness of that. And Aaron Rodgers going. They said
that's another
Achilles.
Shamelessly positive is no one got seriously hurt in that game.
100%.
Yeah.
We got out of there pretty unscathed.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough to be shamelessly positive after a game like that. But we have to move on. This is only week one. This isn't a make or break game. Yeah. This is just week one. We got to be able to hold our heads up and move on and just got to hope that they get better. I mean, obviously there's some positive things on the offense. Defense just needs to be just slightly better. I'm not asking them to be a top 10 defense right now. They just got to be a little better than they were this last Sunday.
Yeah. So we were at the game, get the privilege of being on our phone the whole time and hearing the broadcasters. Did JC Jackson just get benched at the end of the game, or was he hurt?
He got pulled.
He just got benched.
He's not hurt. I saw something. We'll get into it. There's a quote.
Okay.
But they definitely had him on a count. So they're kind of leaning into he was on a pitch count, but he also blew a huge touchdown.
Yeah.
Right. That kind of coincided with them pulling him and putting Asante out there on the side. So
yeah. Some quotes from Staley on the takeaways from yesterday's game. Said we didn't play the right leverages in a lot of the coverages that we had designed to take away those two receivers. We just didn't do a good enough job of staying consistently connected in coverage. We gave up far too many explosions as a result of it. Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know. Like you can't keep using that as an excuse. I'm sorry, but these are NFL football players that if you tell them what their leverage is, you do it or you get fired.
Right.
I could coach high school kids how to keep a certain leverage. That's all that I assume what they're talking about is like, I saw several times Tyreek Hill lined up in the slot, so inside receiver, and he would have a defensive back lined up on him, whether it be a Zont or whoever it was. And there's no linebacker help inside. So if Tyreek gets off the ball and is able to win inside, get inside leverage, there's no help. So that means if there's no help inside, that means their leverage was supposed to be to force him to take his route outside and up. So that's not rocket science. Like you just have to take away any inside breaking route and force him to go outside. And we just obviously didn't do that at all. It's just not a good excuse. That's not playing the right leverages is we just played really bad. We're dumb.
And then on why the team wasn't playing the correct leverages, he said, first game, there are a lot of things that can happen in the first game that don't happen later on in the season. First time out there, some unscouted looks, then really tough matchups. The two people that we were defending, give credit to Miami. Their players played a really good game. So, I mean, it's one of the things that, I talked about with Kevin and just, not having the starters out in the preseason makes sense because you don't want your guys to get hurt. They've been in the game long enough. They should know how to play, go out there week one and play as good as they can ever play. But there might be something to be said about not playing them in situations like this where they're just not clicked in or dialed into whatever the playbook is, whatever the scheme is. I don't know.
That's hard. We talked about it earlier. That's hard too because the offense played really well and they also didn't play.
Correct.
It's just the defense. I think they got out coached. I think they weren't ready scheme wise defensively to do anything. And they didn't recover. They didn't make the changes they needed to make to slow that down.
Yeah.
It got worse.
I don't think that our offense ran the ball really, really well. And we did that in the preseason. Josh Kelly played the preseason.
Yeah,
most of our linemen played the preseason.
Yeah.
Those guys, Justin Herbert, I would say had a mediocre game. He didn't have a lights out best game of his career. He had a couple balls that he overthrew, or he took too long in the pocket there at the end of the game. They know you're going to throw. We got sacked twice. Right. So it's I don't think he played an incredible game. And I think part of that is still loosening up from not having played a single game in the preseason.
Right.
I think that's exactly what we saw was the rust that kind of led through that whole game. Thank God for our running game and being dominant the way that it was. But yeah, there was definitely rust for sure for the offense as well, which is crazy to think of how good we could be.
Yeah. And then Staley on the balanced offensive performance being overlooked said, I think that's an outstanding observation by you. That's what I would characterize it as. The first thing that jumped out to me was that we didn't turn the ball over. That's always going to give you a chance in the NFL. We were +2 in the takeaway margin. The second thing was the runs and completions. We were able to get 40 rushes and 23 completions. That's going to give you, I think, the chance to be balanced. We scored the ball in the red zone. We were 4 out of 5 in the red zone and had really good numbers on third down. There were a couple of third down and shorts, 1 or 2 that we wish we had back. It was a consistent performance. We all want that 2-minute drive at the end of the game to pass protect better at the end of the game. Our offensive group gave us a chance yesterday.
100%.
They were in it the whole time. Like they were never out of it. That's the thing. Is like there wasn't.
It was never two scores. It was always a 1-score game.
At the start of the fourth quarter, let's go warm up the car and get out of here.
Yeah, it was a blow for blow game for sure. It was very, very competitive in that aspect.
Yeah. The other thing that I thought of is, I don't know. We just didn't create any pressure on defense. We didn't have a single sack. And the little bit that I was able to watch back today, it just felt very vanilla, our pass rush. We just were hoping that we were hoping that Khalil and Joey would get there. Mm-hmm. And so we didn't really plan much outside of that. Yeah. It wasn't, there was no, I don't know. Like it just feels like the pass rush needs to get more creative and take a few more chances, because the defensive backs just could not hold up that long. Yeah. There was several times where Tua was just standing back there way too long. And when you're in a zone, they're going to find those little spots and bunker down. So
yeah.
I don't know, man. The offense was great. Like he said in this, they were balanced. They look pretty prolific. They were efficient in the red zone. The defense was just, it overshadowed it. It
so much
muddied a really good offensive game.
Mm-hmm. And then finally on the cornerback, J.C. Jackson's status and the status of the secondary, Staley said, "Let me first state that there were a lot of guys that had tough days yesterday in the secondary. It would be one thing if it was one person in our secondary, and it would be that easy to point to somebody. But our secondary didn't play a good game yesterday, and it starts with me. I'm the one responsible for that, for putting them in better positions. It was JC's first game back after a really tough injury, and I thought that he was able to make it through most of the game. We kind of had some reps slotted for him in the game, and I thought that in terms of what type of game it was, where there are 45 passes in the game, I thought that from a conditioning standpoint, he looked okay. It's getting out there, it's getting your rhythm and timing back. There are going to be a lot of things that he learns from. There were plenty of good plays in there, and there are ones that we definitely need to correct. That is why we have to get back to work on Wednesday at practice." So, I mean, yeah, there were moments in that game where, I mean, I even looked at Kyle because there was a pass that got blocked down, and I was like, that was J.C. Jackson that did it. Yeah. And the excitement was through the roof because it was like, oh my God, this guy that got injured came back. He's playing, he's competing, doing everything that he should possibly do. And then you get two boneheaded moments that are just like, man, what do we were there, we had it, what happened? So, is it a conditioning thing? Is it a mentality thing? Is this just a bad week for him? Is he going to come back next week and be something completely different?
That's all we can hope.
That's all we can do is hope, because I can't call him up and be like, "Hey, JC, it's me, it's Will Dog." Hey,
positive look at it. We're not going to be running into an offense like that next week.
No,
Tennessee is not that kind of offense.
They're not that guy, pal.
So it's really time to reset. Offense, keep doing what you're doing, and defense, hit the reset button.
Please
pull out the cartridge, blow on it, put it back in. It's time to reset this bitch.
Well, what we aren't resetting is our patrons over at Patreon, patreon.com/ChargerChat. And I'm shocked at how many new patrons we got after a game like that. They must need some shameless positivity so much that they're willing to pay for
Sorry,
it.
I don't have it for you that much tonight, guys.
But we do have it over at patreon.com/ChargerChat. So to shout out the new patrons, we've got G, just straight G.
Hell yeah.
Jonathan Yoon, Mike Espinoza, Fraser Hood, Kevin Young, and Cody.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome.
Welcome back.
Thank you guys so much for joining over at Patreon. We've got a spicy video coming up here pretty soon.
It's coming out hot.
Unintended. But if you don't want to go to Patreon, that's totally fine. You can go on over to our regular website, chargerchat.com. Check out all the fun stuff we got over there, t-shirts, hoodies, and stickers. You can chat it up with other Charger Chatteteers in the member section and ask questions in Ask Boltfam. So go check out chargerchat.com. If you ever thought, why the heck is my wireless bill so dang high, then let me tell you about Mint Mobile, who we're partnering with for today's episode. You might already know Mint Mobile if you've seen those funny ads from Ryan Reynolds, who's also an owner, but let me quickly tell you about how awesome their service is. Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for as low as $15 a month, and you don't have to sacrifice any coverage, speed, or data. They're built on the nation's largest 5G network. They keep costs low because they sell direct to you online. They cut out all the retail stores and the salespeople and things like that. Why should you pay more than you have to for access to the same network? It's a good question. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code if you're interested in the best value in wireless. All Mint Mobile plans include unlimited nationwide talk and text, plus lightning fast 5G and free mobile hotspot. Mint also offers a modern family plan that lets you set up a super affordable family plan with as little as 2 lines. Now, I've used Mint Mobile, and I gotta say, everything that they've talked about as far as switching over being extremely easy is 100% true. It was a super easy process, and then once I was switched over, I honestly didn't notice a difference in my performance. You know, all the apps that I typically used, like Twitter and YouTube and things like that, ran exactly the same as they normally did on my previous carrier. Like I said, switching to Mint is super easy. Thanks to their digital eSIM cards, you can sign up and activate immediately right on your phone from the comfort of your own home. And if your phone isn't eSIM compatible, that's totally fine. Mint Mobile will ship you a new SIM card for free. It only takes about 15 minutes to switch, and Mint Mobile has great customer service if you need help. And right now, as a special limited time offer, you can get their unlimited plan, which is normally $30 a month, for just $15 a month. That's a 50% savings off their already super low price. It only takes 15 minutes to pay as low as $15 a month for your phone plan. It really is that simple. Use our link mintmobile.com/chargerchat to get started, or click the link down in the description or scan our QR code. It really helps out the channel. And if you've already made the switch to Mint Mobile, let us know down in the comments. We'd love to hear about your experience with them. Thank you, Mint Mobile, for being our partner for this episode. Now back to the show. All right, gang, it's time to go on to the next segment. It is Fan Focus. Let's see what fan we are bringing into focus this week.
All right, guys, we are back with another Fan Focus, and we are super lucky to have Zachary from Orlando. What's going on, man?
Hey, I'm glad to be talking to you about this team.
I know, dude. I'm excited. We interacted with you a little bit on Twitter, and it's been really fun going back and forth. And football's back, man. We got football. Yeah. It's here. So let's kick this off the way we always do. How did you become a Charger fan?
Well, actually, I was born in San Diego, and I've lived around the area. And then it was probably in 99, I moved to Florida, and I've lived here ever since. But I've followed the team, but I've really started getting into the team in football maybe in the last 5 years.
So your fandom, you've been with the team for a little bit, it sounds like. So what's it like being a fan, a Charger fan in Florida? Especially, there's some football teams down there in Florida.
Yes, and it's actually kind of interesting because from people that I interact with, it's a lot of different teams and not just Florida teams. I've interacted with Cowboys fans and Buccaneer fans and Steelers fans. So it's just, I'm the only Chargers fan that I know.
Nice. Here. Well, keep doing it down there. Stay strong for us and represent. So yeah, your general thoughts, man, on the season, what you're excited about, what you're looking forward to as this season goes on.
I'm looking for us to have a kick-ass season. It's going to be an interesting road because, as people have said, the AFC is stacked. But knowing how talented we are, I think we will be the ones to represent the AFC when it's all done.
I love that. I'm so on board for that, man. I'm just excited where this thing is going to go. And what are some of the players that you're most looking forward to seeing, kind of thrive or take the next step this upcoming season?
Well, on offense, I want to see how QJ does. Because first round pick, and we needed speed, so it's like let's see him added to the arsenal. And then on defense, it's actually two players. Asante Samuel Jr., because I want to see him build off of that playoff game performance. Mm-hmm. And Thule, because before the draft, I always try to give like a list of players that I want us to get. And he was the only one from the ones that we drafted that was on my list. So
awesome.
I want to see him succeed. So
that's awesome. And I have to tell the audience, it's terrible because we're recording this right before the Dolphins game, so we don't know how that game went. So the way I feel about it, I feel like we won. I feel like this is an easy win and we kind of dominated. What do you think?
I think so too. I think we have all the pieces in hand to give them a beating, if you want to say.
I like it. So in retrospect, I hope we're both right. I hope this plays and we totally dominated them. But yeah, so like, give me your favorite Charger memory up to this point. What's your the most memorable moment for you?
Well, actually, I'll relate it to this jersey because it was actually 10 years ago in Qualcomm. I actually got to see the Chargers and the Colts on Monday Night Football. And awesome. This is the only Chargers jersey I own right now, and I got it at the game. So
that's awesome, man. That's great. Yeah, Qualcomm was definitely a fun stadium to be at. It was not quite SoFi level what we had the amenities there, but I have a lot of good memories and a lot of good times at Qualcomm and San Diego Chargers, man. Love it. Yeah. But let's. So you have something special coming up at the end of the season here. So what? Do tell. You were hinting it earlier before we got on.
Yes. So as a birthday gift, all of my family and I are going to be heading week 15 to Las Vegas to Thursday Night Football to see our team crush the Raiders.
I love it. I love it, man. Are you excited? It sounds like it'll be I still haven't gone to a game in Vegas, so I'm excited to possibly do one of those one day.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to games at Jacksonville and in Tampa, but I've never been to a game in Vegas. So it'll be a new fun experience.
Awesome. Well, represent us well out there. Hopefully we're feeling really good week 15 and we're just rolling. And
I think we'll be crushing it.
I love it. I love your positivity, Zachary. I feel like we have something in common here. I love it. Well, it was an absolute pleasure meeting you. Thank you so much for your time coming on and chatting with us. And look forward to
thank you for the opportunity.
No, man, dude, my pleasure. So let's keep in touch, keep chatting online, and man, let's go. Bolt up.
Bolt up.
Well, Zachary, that is a fine looking jersey that you got at that stadium. That is that's quite the memory to have, and
we didn't predict well.
Yeah, the prediction was slightly askew. You missed it by that
Try
much.
again.
Nonetheless, happy birthday to you,
yes,
sir.
Happy birthday, bud.
And enjoy that game in Vegas.
Absolutely. Yeah, that'll be a fun one to go to. So, Mr. Zachary Shelton, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with my man Kev.
Yeah, thanks, man.
I'm sure I'll see you down in Ask Boltfam, but let's I think that's the next segment here, folks.
Segue alert.
It's time for Ask Boltfam.
Time to put your money where your mouth is.
Hi, guys. Don't jam a thumb up his butthole. That's what you do. I wet myself in excitement. Oh, so hungry.
Your thoughts are like totally appreciated.
Catch you later, dude. Okay, love you, boy.
That's right, folks. Time for Ask Boltfam, and we start off at the top with Bolt Dan, who asks a question.
Oh, well, we lost only the first game. Not the end of the world. Coach just needs to fix a little here, a little there, and we'll be all right, homies. Thank you guys for stopping by and having a drinks with us. Hope you guys like the Mexical drink. Puro pinche Chargers.
I love your energy. We will
love the drink.
We got a football game in 5 days?
Yeah.
We're going to get over this shit really quick.
We will.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. I'm already over it, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm not over it yet. I clearly
I can hear it in
my
his
tone.
I can feel it.
My tone in this. I had my I have a Chargers gear on, and I was coming downstairs to record it, and Hillary's like, "Oh, so you are still a Charger fan?" Yeah. I was like, "Yep."
Oh, you're still good? You're still going to do the podcast?
It took me 24 hours, but now I can at least come on here and talk about it.
Kyle went dark there for a minute in the
did.
parking lot.
Bad, man.
But
Yesterday
hey,
that was a
happens.
tough one for me.
Yeah. But Bolt Dan, it was awesome seeing you. Thank you for the shot.
That drink was
it was delicious.
Crazy.
It was really good.
Yeah,
I thought it was like I thought he made like a homemade, you know, like his own little brew, but that was just right out of the bottle.
Straight from the bottle. Very good. Bolt Dan, thank you, buddy. Good to see you at Thunder Alley. Let's move it on now to Yummy Butter Bolt.
Certified fresh.
Who asked the question? I am going to stay positive on this one. That was a freak offense which the Bolts never adjusted to, and you have to think that left a bad burn that will linger. However, the Bolts offense kept the pace until the end. Week 1 is now behind us, and we will look at the good things we saw that is being overlooked in the mainstream. We got a run game that we are scoring in the red zone. If this offense keeps up, we can go blow for blow with the rest of them. Fix this pass defense to just not terrible, and we will be all right, fam. Now for my question. Now that we can establish the run, what offensive adjustments should Kellen Moore use, such as personnel and play calls, to really open up and elevate this offense even further? The edge rushers will get pressure and get sacks. Herbie will throw for sexy touchdowns. Pass defense will get fixed to not terrible. Eckler will be the touchdown king once again. We will go 3-1 into the bye week, and we'll go undefeated all the way to a Super Bowl win. It's too early to call it a season. BTFU, lick these bolts and Kane loves you, bye.
I love that. I really love that.
Yeah.
Very positive.
Sometimes, folks, we need other people to look for shameless positivity.
Oh, we need you as much as you need us, for sure.
And thank you, Yummy Butter Bolt. And what a great name.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, man. At the end of the day, I think I saw a tweet that said that there were only 3 teams that had over 400 yards. One was the Dolphins, one was the Chargers, and one was some other team.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, you go up against a team that puts up pound for pound yardage as you do, and it's just somebody's got to lose.
Yeah.
And it was us, sadly.
Yeah.
It was. It really was us.
But as far as the question, now that we can establish the run, what offensive adjustments should Kellen Moore use, such as personnel and play calls, to really open up and elevate this offense even further?
I don't know. I don't think you have to adjust anything. You just keep taking what they give you. If Miami was going to sit back in multiple DB looks, then you're going to run the ball on them all game. We were able to be effective. So I just think you keep taking what they give you. He seems like a guy that's great at adjusting to what the defense decides to come on show. Mm-hmm. If you're an opposing defensive coordinator, you're not coming in saying, I'm going to stop the run. That's just not who we are. With Justin Herbert, the weapons we have outside, you're coming in with, if I can stop the pass, hopefully we can win. And so if the run is there, you have to be effective at continuing to take it. Once they try to stop it, then you really let Justin. That would be the only adjustment, is let Justin eat and go deep. But when you can run the ball, then you can set up those play action passes. You fake that run, they all come up to the box, and then you can hit Mike, Quentin, somebody deep on a big play.
Yeah.
And that was a pretty light game for Justin. He threw the ball 33 times. Like, he's usually in the 50.
Only 33.
He's usually in the 50 burgers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
he's usually at 30 completions.
When they tried to shut him down, he still had 228 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think this offense is going to be spectacular.
Yeah.
They came out of the gates fast and furious, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So we all know, we don't have to say it over and over again. We know it needs to get fixed for next week.
Right. It's just week 1.
Yeah.
Rough way to lose, but doesn't determine the outcome of the season.
Definitely not.
Yummy Butterbolt, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Derwin's Dirty Duck, who asked the question.
Fellas, feeling shattered, but it's week 1. I know it's a loss, but how good is having football back? What was your favorite non-Charger moment of week 1? And you can't all say the Chiefs losing.
Football is back.
Football is back.
There is a weird thing we were talking about. Like, when you actually go to a game and you commit a whole day to doing the tailgate and all that stuff, you really don't know what's going on with the rest of the league.
No clue.
So it's been this slow catch up. Like,
dude, the Cowboys
beat the shit out of the Giants.
40-0.
Nothing.
And everyone was saying we should have got. I saw a couple people tweeting before that game was decided. We should have got Daboll. Screw. Like, really?
Daboll couldn't do anything on offense or defense.
Really? So could be worse.
Could be worse.
So yeah, it was I'm just glad it's back. I'm glad fantasy's back. Just won $20 from Andrew in our Patreon league. Life is good for me. And I did it without a quarterback. My Aaron Rodgers, he's gone. So I limped.
Evan will be living on that waiver wire the rest of the season.
I limped to a victory.
Zach Wilson coming in pretty hot, but
I'm coming at you, Andrew. Get ready. Get ready for that.
So I guess So are you leaning on the Giants losing 40-0 as your favorite moment of week one?
Because it was worse than
I don't love the Cowboys, but instead I can't say the Chiefs. That was definitely my favorite moment.
That was a highlight of the week.
Chiefs was definitely a highlight. It's so weird right now that saying that the Raiders are 1-0 and everybody else in the AFC West is 0-1.
I didn't see that game. I haven't even gone to look at it.
No, me neither.
I'm guessing Russell Wilson's not that guy.
Russell Wilson,
not that guy.
Yeah,
just with the new coach,
14 points.
Yeah, so that's promising.
So it's hard to say what else is going on in the NFL. There might be some really funny things happening now that I have no clue about.
I'm sure we'll catch up on them in the next couple days.
Yeah, I would say I think I won my fantasy football for the Patreon too, not for family. Jesus, Josie just spanked me like I owed her money or something in the family league. But Derwin's Dirty Duck. Thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Enrique Alvarado, and shout out to New York Charger John, Dibble, Outlier, and Scotty B63.
There's a lot of certified fresh in that.
There is. And for folks, if you haven't watched the show before, we get a lot of questions, okay?
Especially during the season. Some of these are really long, and if we asked every single question, number one, it'd get repetitive. Number two, these would be 4-hour-long episodes. I don't want that. You don't want that. The world doesn't want that. Sometimes we got to shout out some people because they're all kind of in the same vein or the same question. So those are the shout outs. I try to get it mixed up as well, so it's not just always getting shout outs and stuff like that. So love you guys. Thank you all for asking the question. I'm going with Enrique, and it goes something like this.
At what point does Staley realize he can't be both the head coach and defensive coordinator because he's currently failing at both? He's a defensive guy, and our team with all the defensive superstars are not performing. We are not prepared defensively, and it starts with Staley.
It's hard to argue that game was absolutely a preparation situation, I think, and getting the guys in the right places. The one thing I will say about Staley is that he definitely improves. He definitely makes adjustments and improves.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to see a better defense next week. I don't know to what degree, but it's going to be far better than what we just saw.
Yeah.
I'm confident of that.
The whole last stretch of last season and even the first half of that playoff game defensively was like, holy smokes.
They were firing.
We were firing on all cylinders. Everything is clicking. And we were hoping that would carry over into week one. So far, it hasn't, but there's still plenty of road to go for that to get changed and switched around. Will he still be the play caller for defensive plays going forward?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
He's the head coach. He gets to decide what's going on there.
Yeah.
And I don't think he has. I think Derek Ansley is a coordinator, but he's not
a play caller.
The guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. So I just hope he figures it out because we need that.
Yeah. Figure it out and figure it out quick. So, Enrique, New York Charger John, Dibble, Outlier, and Scotty B63. Thank you guys for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Daniel Llewellyn, who asked the question. What's happening, pro chachos? Okay. So, can we focus on some fucking gnarly positivity or what? Dicker the motherfucking kicker. Holy shit, our next John Carney. Kid later on, dudes.
Yeah, Dicker kicked a 50-yarder was nice.
Yeah. No, he was perfect. I mean, and Daniel, it's so good to have you back. I haven't done it later on, dudes.
Yeah, I've missed
a long time. Yeah, dude, Dicker, perfect. Yeah. No complaints.
No.
Zero issues. Keep doing what you're doing.
Did his job. Kick the ball back of the end zone, kickoffs, and just don't miss the uprights.
One thing I did love, I haven't seen it at the previous games that we've been to. I feel like this is a new thing. So anytime there's been like a first down, a touchdown, or something like that, they'll put the player up on there. Joshua Kelly's was funny because he would do like first down, And then he like looked at the camera and went like, oh, wait, like, like he messed up or something. But even when Decker the kicker kicks his field goals, he puts his hands up and you could it just looked funny because he looks so much like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's just got that silly little grin with the big gap in his teeth.
I love that guy.
It's awesome. I love what they're doing with the graphics on the Oculus at the stadium. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, great praise. Great to point out there, Daniel. Thank you so much for pointing it out and asking the question. Let's move it on now to Tyler Foffey.
Long time.
Been a while. And shout out to Gavin Gibson and Charger fan. Thank you guys. Again, we're just trying to power through these sometimes. And I'm going with the Fofster because we haven't heard him in quite a while. So he's got a question that goes something like this. I just want to focus on the positives because I'm bummed the hell out. Can't wait for our therapy session on Tuesday. What was your guys' positive takeaway from the game and maybe something we need to work on? BTFU and K-Love you bye.
I thought Josh Kelly was awesome. I was not prepared for how well he was going to run. He ran for almost 100 yards.
Yeah.
That caught me off guard how efficient he was.
He's always had flashes, and for one reason or another, didn't really get a whole lot of like opportunities. And this last game, I mean, showed how powerful he can be and what a great compliment to Eckler he can be.
Yeah.
In the running game.
He might, if depending on what's up with Eck, if it's,
yeah,
doesn't sound like he has a serious thing going on with his ankle.
Well, yeah.
But if he does,
we've got three other running backs to pull from. Yeah. So
yeah.
And Spiller not being activated in place.
That was a shocker.
Kind of interesting.
Dotson must have been the special teams pull. I'm assuming that's why he was on the active roster instead of Spiller.
I mean, if you look at the snap counts, I think he was only in for one play. So yeah, that was surprising to see. But that's certainly a positive to look at. Justin Herbert, like Kyle said, it wasn't his best game, but at the same time, like he's not injured. He's still throwing. He's making the passes.
Picks.
He's running.
Yeah,
his run game was going on.
The running was different.
Yeah, and so I think we're going to see a new and improved. I mean, that's the other thing too. Looking at like what else has been going on around the league, like I can't remember if it was Sunday or the day before we heard Joe Burrow was now the highest paid quarterback in NFL history.
Yeah.
And how was his game on Sunday?
Not
good. I'm going to go out on a limb, say not good.
What was it? We looked at the stat line.
He didn't throw for 100 yards. He threw for like 80. Yeah.
80 yards.
Well, 82 yards.
Yeah.
And he 45% completion percentage.
Yikes. Don't want to see that from your quarterback.
No,
so
not after he's the highest paid guy.
So Justin Herbert got paid and still knows how to play ball.
Yeah.
Like Joe Burrow. So that's certainly one thing to be positive. I mean, things I need to work on. I mean, it's all on the defensive side. That really is the biggest area of concern is the defensive side. So every aspect needs to get better. I mean, great that they had a good run game, stopping the run, but Manischewitz, that it almost didn't matter.
Yeah.
So got to get better everywhere else. All right. So Tyler, Gavin, and Charger fan, thank you guys for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Salty Sports Guy.
God, I love all these names are back.
They're back, baby. Who asked the question?
What is up, fellas? Long time no talk. I haven't asked a question in a while, but rest assured, I haven't missed an episode. And I greatly appreciate all the content you guys chug out for the fans. The reason why you guys are my favorite podcast is how you've somehow turned me from a pessimistic asshole hater to a shamelessly positive optimist. But I don't know, guys. After yesterday, I am having a rough time. Part of me wants to say it's just one game, and we are too talented defensively to not figure it out. The other part of me feels like the defense has just gotten worse over 3 years, and we don't have injuries as an excuse. Could you guys each give me one reason why I shouldn't be pessimistic about this defense? Because right now, I feel like a recovering alcoholic who's staring at a bottle of negativity and ready to pour out a glass of old time's sake. Love you guys. Thanks for everything.
Oui,
monsieur.
Very nice. Well, I'm glad you're back.
Glad you're back. Glad you've become a shamelessly positive optimist as opposed to a pessimistic asshole. But I feel you, dude. We're all in the fields with it, especially freshly right after the game. Like, you just want to set the world on fire and start over. But Yeah, give me one reason why I shouldn't be pessimistic about this defense. There's still playmakers on that defense. That's the thing, is like these guys, they're not out to pasture. It's not like Joey Bosa's best years are behind him or Khalil Mack's best years are behind him. Like, these are still playmaking guys that can come out there and do some damage. And whatever the reason, whether it was miscommunication, poor scheming, whatever the cause was, it should be all fixable for these guys.
Yeah, I think go ahead.
No, I was gonna say there's no way that that's 17 weeks of that. There's not a chance that continues to multiply itself and they don't figure it out somehow. Even you could have all the wrong play calls in the world. With the amount of talent that we have on defense, they're gonna start to figure it out. They have to.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing you can take from that. Our players are great. The scheme and the game plan was not great.
No.
So we have one guy to look at. Go fix it.
Yeah.
Fix it, and we'll be good.
Yeah.
This team's going to score points, man.
Yeah.
This team, as you saw, one of the 3 teams that put up over 400 yards of offense.
Yeah.
It's going to be like that all year long.
Yeah.
Defense just needs to get their shit together as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. We still got Derwin James. We still got Asante Samuel.
We had bad games last year, man. Like it's just there's certain times where it pops up and you got to be able to brush it off and go get back in there.
And keep in mind, we almost won that game.
Yeah.
We almost won that game. It came down to a drive that we just couldn't execute. And it's just not fair to be like the offense didn't pull through and win it for us. It wasn't fair. It's not fair to say that.
It isn't.
But we were in it the whole time. We were competitive. It's just our defense. Just step up, man. We'll be good.
Yeah. Things that are fixable will be fixed.
100%.
So, Salty Sports Guy, thank you. Good to hear from you.
Welcome
Thank
back.
you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Mr. Pekar, who asked the question. I am looking for reason, looking for rhyme. But what in the animatronic is going on with the Bolt bots in the stadium? K, love you, bye.
Did you see this, Kyle?
Is it real? Like,
they put it up on the Jumbotron. There was a huge promotion for The Creator. It's a movie coming out this Friday at your local theater. No, it's coming out here sometime in the summer. It looks awesome. It legit actually looks really cool. But they were just hyping up that movie the entire time. They did it last year with Megan.
Yeah.
They had all these girls in the end zone dressed up like Megan. They were all just kind of standing there looking awkward and
very
weird.
Creepy.
It was very creepy. This year, they did the same thing. They had people sitting in the stands with jerseys on, but they had like what looked like the back of their head like missing with like gears and stuff. And it was just a giant promotion for The Creator. I mean, my sister sent me a vid going like, oh my God, can you believe they have animatronic people in the stadium? It's like,
no,
it's a promotion.
It's an extra.
It's makeup.
No,
it's not real.
I wish they'd have thought it through a little bit more, because I've seen a few people call us out. It's bullshit, but the idea of like, oh, Chargers don't have fans, they got to bring in robots.
Fans,
yeah. It's like we kind of set ourselves up with that.
Yeah, you did
a little bit. We kind of teed that up nicely.
Walked right into that.
So we're gonna have to do some predictions on what crazy thing they're gonna do next year.
Crazy promotion, yeah. All right. Well, there you go, Mr. Pekar. Thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Rebolted 2006, and shout out to Bolt Rage. That might be certified fresh,
maybe.
But you guys asked the same question. Going with Rebolted 2006. Here we go.
Now that I'm out of my head and funk, if you've been a fan since the 1960s beginning or for a long period of time, or even after that Jags loss, I understand why you flip out, myself included, at games like this, because you have such a deep history of same old Chargers. It keeps happening over and over and over again, and eventually you just get tired and lose confidence in the team. I think we're all going to hear about the defense for quite some time. I'm not going to ask questions regarding them because I'm sure you'll get a mouthful, and listening to Staley's press conference, he knows he's in the hot seat on that. But I have hope and faith in tomorrow, in this case next week, forgetting what is past and taking hold of what's ahead and whatever this season has in store. Don't lose your hope or faith. That's where your fight is. Hope doesn't put us to shame, and when it finally hits, it hits like a rushing wind. Here's my question. Spiller being inactive yesterday was interesting. Even when Eck went out with an injury for a bit, they rolled with Kelly. I think I saw Dotson in there once, but that was it. That third back will have to eventually get involved because, as you saw yesterday, you can't run Eck into the ground and then do that to Kelly for an entire 17-game season. What are we not seeing with Spiller right now? And are you upset Dotson didn't get at least one carry with that inactive move? I say that because if Spiller is active, you know he sees touches. So if you don't trust Dotson in that game, he should have been inactive. K, love you, bye.
Well, I love the hype up about not losing your hope.
Yeah.
That's honestly, I think that's the biggest takeaway from that is you can't give up hope on week one, no matter how bad. I mean, again, Giants lost 40-0.
Yeah. That you could probably be wavering on your hope.
I would be, you might have to talk me off a ledge if we lost 40-0 in week one.
Yeah.
That would be really
your division rival. Like that'd be us losing to the Raiders 40-0.
40-0. Oh man. You'd have to pull the gun out of my mouth at that point. But gotta have hope, man. This team has the talent. They have the guys that can turn this around.
It's a long season.
It is a long season.
Very long season.
And it'll hit, I think, sooner than we expect. But the question regarding Spiller being inactive and running Kelly and Eck into the ground for 17 games. I mean, carrying 4 running backs felt like there's going to be a cycle. There's going to be guys coming in and playing for some of these plays just so that Eckler isn't the guy all the time. I mean, part of the reason why he got 20 touchdowns last year was because he was in there almost every play. Yeah.
So he literally split carries. Kelly, 16 each.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was surprised to see Spiller not make it. I was surprised that if you're activating Dotson, he's only in there for a couple of plays. But I don't know. Do you guys feel like there may be something different to the mentality or the idea of doing something like that?
It's just it feels like a wasted roster spot if you're not going to play him, even when an injury happens. I think that's the sentiment that he's getting at. It's like if you have the guy on the active roster and one of the guys in front of him goes down, he still doesn't play. What was the point of having him active? Mm-hmm. But the only thing that I can say to that, I don't know, is that they trusted him more than Spiller still. So that's just how much did they trust Spiller? Mm-hmm. Like Spiller wasn't going to see the field at all. Mm-hmm. And it feels like whoever that third running back is a breaking case of emergency kind of situation.
Right. Yeah. I think Kevin made an interesting point. We were talking about it at the airport as far as like Dotson being that potential replacement for Eckler at the end of this season. If Eckler doesn't come back as a Charger next season, which right now seems very possible. Yeah. Dotson being an undrafted free agent, having the performance he had in the preseason could be that Eckler replacement. And so you just have him on the roster because if you have him on the practice squad, somebody else can come in and swoop and pick him up and put him on their team. And you don't want that because you want this guy next year.
Sure.
So I don't know if that's the case. They've certainly not come out and said that, but I think that's an interesting take when you talk to me about that.
And it's so early too. It's so early to see.
And the performance that we saw from Dotson was all preseason. We haven't seen him in a regular game yet.
And I'm not complaining about only seeing one play out of Dotson when the two-headed monster that is Kelly and Eckler was doing what they did.
Yeah.
You don't mess with that.
No,
that worked really, really well.
Yeah.
So that third running back, whoever's activated that week is going to have limited amount. They're, like you said, breaking case of emergency, break glass. So it'll all get worked out. I think there's going to be weeks where Dotson isn't playing and Spiller is, and we'll see who takes the spot with their limited opportunities.
Yeah. So rebolted 2006 and Bolt Rage. Thank you guys for asking the question. Let's move it on now to, there it is, Zachary Shelton, who asked the question. First off, I just want to say thank you guys for being so awesome. As a Chargers fan, I always enjoy your insight, and I always like watching these weekly episodes when they come out on Tuesdays and now Fridays. Now, on to my question. If you were hosting a party and you could invite any 3 Chargers, past or present, and it doesn't have to be just players, what 3 would you guys invite, and what that would make the party amazing? My 3 would be Sebastian Joseph Day, Derwin James, and Shaw Merriman. Bolt up and let's kick some ass.
Amen, Zachary.
Yeah. All right. So if we like to party, who are we inviting to said party? What are some party animals? that we'd want?
It's a good question, actually.
I feel like there's some linemen that would be in that like that program-esque style of like raging party animal.
Kyle, what bar did we go to and somebody bought us shots after the game? It was like Legadoo Nane. That guy was partying.
I wasn't a part of that.
Yeah, you're too little.
I was too young for that.
You couldn't drink yet.
You couldn't drink. Legadoo Nane bought like shots for a whole bar. He had like a touchdown or something. He was like a lesser known wide receiver.
I remember Legadoo.
Legadoo?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go rogue. I'm gonna say Legadoo Nane.
That's a good name.
I'm gonna go Ajira Tutu. Also good name.
Because when you're drunk, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And then our new player, is it our Nigerian player?
Okoye?
Okoye.
That would be
Okoye would be fun.
That'd be a wild night. I think that would be a fun story night.
Yeah. Those are good names.
Ajira Tutu and Legadoo.
That's the most bizarre answer, dude.
I'm trying to remember.
Sorry, my brain is still mushy.
One of those two did play for BSU. I'm just saying. Let's see. Who else would be good? I think Sean Merriman. I think that's a good call there, Zachary. I think he'd be really fun to party with. I mean, it just wouldn't hurt to have Phillip Rivers at a party. He might not get like drunk and stupid, but
I think your designated driver for sure.
Well, I think he would just be the best storyteller. He would just be off to the side of the party, sitting on the couch, telling everybody about this and that, and just holding court with everybody that was there.
That'd be cool.
And then I'm just gonna say Dicker the kicker.
Bring him in.
Bring in Dicker the kicker.
Let's go.
I want to talk to him. I want to have him on and party with him.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
He's like, that's not my accent. My name is Cameron.
My name is Cameron. Who?
Any different guys that you would like to party with there, Kyle?
I don't know. I don't know. I would. I like my coach, so maybe I would like to be able to hear from some of these coaches.
That's good.
And they have a side to them. Head coaches do. There's a little fraternity inside of it, being a coach. So give me Don Coryell, Bobby Ross, and Marty Schottenheimer.
Oh,
that'd be badass.
That's a very sophisticated party.
I feel like we'd be sitting around having a glass of scotch or something.
Yeah, like a fireplace, some leather chairs, maybe some
rich mahogany.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. That's the energy for that party.
Some robes.
Not Legadoo Nane and PB.
No, we're going to PB. We're lining up shots.
All right. Well, Zachary, thank you so much for asking the question. Let's move it on now to MJ, who asked the question. I have one. What did people expect from J.C. Jackson in his first game action since that brutal injury? Did they think he'd come back and be J.C. Island? I understand he made mistakes and got burnt, but for fuck's sake, it was his first game back.
This is a good point. It's hard not to look at that. And he hasn't played football in a long time, and he came back from a serious injury.
Yeah.
The only thing I will say is that the brain farts he had aren't injury related.
No.
Those are just football player knowing
big mistakes,
knowing the situation.
Yeah.
So it's kind of harder for me to give him the benefit of the doubt in a certain respect, because the mistakes he made were mental ones that you can be working on while you're rehabbing.
Yeah. And they're big mistakes. They're mistakes that made it where the Chargers and the Dolphins could have gone into the half tied. And now the Dolphins are up by 3 because of a mistake like that.
Such a bonehead move. He catches that ball.
That's the game. How much did we lose by? We lost by 2. He handed him 3 points.
He catches that. They catch that ball and they just tackle him right there.
Yeah.
That's over.
Yeah.
They don't have enough time on the clock. It was like 2 seconds left.
Yeah.
So
I'm not saying that you got to throw the guy in a pit of fire and just collect his insurance.
It just doesn't help that he played so bad last year before he got hurt. You know, it's like it just felt like this is just more of the same of what we saw at the beginning of last year. So
understandable.
There's just a lot of chips against JC right now, but I will give him the benefit of the doubt that it was his first game back. Like he had some flashes, had a couple good plays. So let's hope he can build on that.
It's not a complete, loss. Like, yes, I think that's the thing that I think a lot of people are upset about, is because of how much money this guy is carrying with him. We threw so much money at this guy and have not gotten any return on investment with that.
Yeah.
So I understand the frustration, but at the same time, really put it into perspective of a guy that has been removed from the game for 10 plus months, dealing with an injury, probably messed with his head a little bit after getting that injury, being told, yeah, you might not play football again, dude. Like I can't imagine being in a situation where the thing that I love to do, being told, yeah, you might not do that again ever in your life. Figure it out.
Yeah.
And he did. He went, he grinded, he rehabbed the heck out of his leg, and he's back and he's actually playing football. And like Kyle said, he's making some plays, but man, he's got to tighten it up.
He's got a short leash for me.
Yeah.
I'll give him this week. If we see more of the same this upcoming week, or
I'm sure he's on a short leash with the coaching staff.
He got benched.
short leash for me.
Yeah.
Time.
So 100%. MJ, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Greg Farnan. And shout out to Luis Fernando Areza.
Certified fresh?
Maybe. But they have a question.
Maybe.
Goes like this.
Boy, oh boy. Was it just Tyreek Hill or are we just too slow? And what is with our dumbass DBs giving away stupid penalties? Is JC learning from JT? So frustrated all the way down here. Bolt the up and bring on the Titans next week. Oh, and everyone in the moment except the Chargers. K, love you, bye. Farnsey.
I hope you don't mean us too,
Yeah.
Farnsey. I mean, we're kind of Chargers adjacent. Don't say don't say F, you know. I mean, come on, we got your back, Farnsey. Yeah. I mean, I think that's why I'm more upset at the coaching staff for putting J.C. Jackson on Tyreek Hill, who did not suffer a potential season-ending injury.
He's just as fast as
he
ever.
is as fast as he could possibly be. And so putting J.C. Jackson on that guy, I mean, come on. Like, that's not the move.
But if you can't, then just don't play. If you can't go out there and run and be at full speed, then you can't play. Because he's an outside number one corner right now.
That's what I mean. Like, that's why I'm more upset at the coaching staff for putting him in that situation. Like, if he can't play, then what are we doing? Because if yes, he made some plays, but like, if he can't keep up with Tyreek Hill, then you don't put him on Tyreek Hill. I don't know how else to slice that.
You just can't put. Well, what Kyle's saying is like, if you can't play Tyreek Hill as our number one corner, you shouldn't be playing.
I agree. Yeah, I don't think he should be the number one corner. It should be like Mike Davis.
Even your number two, you need to be able to cover.
But then, if you can't run with Tyreek Hill, you can't run with Jalen Waddle. So you shouldn't be playing. But everything that we heard coming leading up to the game was he's fine. He's 100%. He's ready to go.
Right. He wasn't on the injury report at all. Yeah.
So I don't like the blaming it on the injury. I think he just got beat a lot this week.
Yeah.
Just played bad.
Yeah. I'm like I said, I'm not blaming the injury. More so, I'm blaming the coaching staff for.
Don't blame the coaching staff. Blame JC. He played bad.
Brandon Staley said to blame him, so I'm going to blame Brandon Staley.
No, but that's
listening to my coach.
Being a coach taking the bullet. But he said he was perfectly fine, ready to go, no limitations. He played and he got beat, and so that's on him as a player. I don't think you can't put that on Staley, because if you're an outside number one corner and he doesn't have him on Tyreek, he would have been on Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle could have burned him just like that as well.
Yeah.
He was getting beat by Braxton Berrios was beating him too. So yeah, I don't know. That's just JC. Exactly.
Yeah, no one does.
All right. Greg Farnan, Luis Fernando Areza, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Bolts and Boogies, who asked the question.
Hello, gentlemen. I could go and vent on here about JC or Staley, but I'm sure there is going to be enough of that going on. You're quite right there, Bolts and Bogies. It was nice seeing you guys at Thunder Alley and taking a shot with you. I noticed that McDaniel was calling Madden slants right over the center of the field all day, especially targeting JC when they could. One time on back-to-back plays for big completions. Last time we played, we took away the middle of the field by having our linebackers drop back into coverage, taking away the middle of the field and forcing Tua to look outside the numbers. Any idea why we didn't go back to that more? I also want to say I loved our running game. Our offensive line hasn't looked this good in our run game since 2006. I think this year we finally have that RB2 we've been looking for. And if Dotson ever gets some time to run, then with his burst, I could see him breaking off some big explosive runs. The Raiders, they'll be in the cellar soon enough, unless Sean Payton on Russell won't stay in there. K, love you, bye.
Yeah, they kind of went away from what was so successful the first time they played them, which was kind of shocking.
Yeah. Yeah, to see a performance that they had last year not be at least somewhat repeated this year.
It was a completely different defensive performance.
It was surprising.
And the linebackers were in there, but when they dropped out and got deep in coverage, then Tyreek was coming underneath, catching the ball at 10 and running for 50.
Yeah.
When they tried to stay down low, then they would come up, then Tyreek would go over the top of them right in front of the safety. And Tua was putting perfect ball. Like, he threw great balls. A lot of times it was over a linebacker before a safety. He had an incredible game. So I don't know. It's hard for me to believe that the game plan was that different. Coach Staley, he knows football more than we do. He was there when we shut him down last year. So I'm sure the game plan was similar. I think they just executed at an incredible level, and they were just adjusting every time that we tried to make a little adjustment. They were ready for it. And I think that they just played a great, great game. I don't think that it's not as if he was like, I have the secret formula and I can shut them down, and now I'm not going to do it. That's not how we went into it.
Yeah. So the running back looked great. Offensive line, when it was a run, offensive line was great at making those holes. So definitely good ball points there, Bolts and Bogies. So thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to House of Hain, and shout out to Electric Funeral. But going with House of Hain, so it goes something like this. Mama always said life was like a giant turd left on the field by the defense. On offense, Jenny jumped up and said, "Run, Austin, run." And he was running. I'm not a smart man. I would have called a better game on D than coach. That's all I have to say about that. FTR, in all seriousness, bad day for the defense, great day for the run offense. Coach, can you bump a receiver in motion? I mean, at the line, or at least get in a way of Hill? If so, why didn't they try to do that in all the motion plays? All right. Can you bump a receiver?
After the ball snapped, yeah, but Tyreek Hill's running at 400 miles an hour, so it's hard to get hands on the guy.
Yeah, that guy's insanely fast.
It's like you go to bump him and he's already 20 yards down or something.
Yeah, and then you're completely out of position. So,
like, wait,
I mean,
I need to bump you. So, yeah, it was a rough day for defense, great for the offense. Just got to get a little better on defense, and bump or something. Somebody do something out there.
Somebody bump someone.
Somebody, please. Where's our bumper? I know we've got thumpers. Where's my bumper?
Oh, God.
House of Hain and Electric Funeral, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to MB, who asked the question. All we had to do was march down the field and kick a field goal with Dicka the kicker. P.S. We don't know his first name. Who is to blame for the loss? The defense giving up 500 yards? The O-line not being able to protect Herbert on the last drive? Or JC with the penalty that gave them 3 points?
It's hard to place blame in football.
All of those you can blame.
You could do all of those things.
It's a team game.
That's exactly it. You can't just blame one aspect, because if any of those things go differently, you get a different outcome.
Yeah.
The easiest one, if you were to look at this, to be like that was just completely avoidable, was the pass interference penalty.
Yeah.
You want to look at it, but that could have changed how they called the game if they wouldn't have got that at halftime.
The butterfly effect.
So it's just exactly. So it's hard to place specific blame. I think in general, just the defense being what they did, was the reason for the season.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
All right, there you go, MB. Thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to the Pylon Cam,
certified fresh,
who asked the question.
Is there anything you could attest the O-line giving up those sacks at the end? They played a great game up front all day.
Tired. I mean, end of the game, that's the only thing I can think of.
Dialed up an exotic blitz and got them off guard.
Yeah.
The one thing I do want to say, Justin, when he avoided that safety by stretching his arm out to just keep his arm out of the end zone.
Yeah.
What a heads up play.
Yeah.
That's smart football, and I'm thankful for him.
Yeah. He made a point to fall down and hold the ball outside of the end zone.
Giant wingspan. He got it out there. So I just wanted to point that out. That's a positive and a negative play.
Yeah.
But I thought the offensive line did really well all game. They just had a couple moments.
Mm-hmm.
We just held onto the ball too long.
Yeah.
It's when you know it's going to be a pass, everything changes. Yeah. In those situations, they know it's pass, so they're going to dial up everything they got to come. You forget that we were playing against Vic Fangio. Mm-hmm. This is not a Joe Schmo defense. We've had a lot of success against them. But when the time comes and they need to play, he's got one in his pocket. So, and they have an incredibly talented defense. I mean, the guys on that Bradley Chubb, they have, they just have studs over there. So they came out and made a play when they needed it. And we couldn't get open.
Yeah. All right. Well, the Pylon Cam, thank you for asking the question. This next one to move on to, doesn't have a name. It's just a winky face, but their handle is LRH388.
Certified fresh.
To ask the question, should Staley get fired if we miss the playoffs?
I'm not ready to go to that level of negativity yet.
Yeah.
There's time. There's still time. Every team in the NFL is still capable of making the playoffs right now. I'm not ready to start, let's fire coach. Everyone's like, fire coach, fire coach, fire coach. I'm not up for that right now. So
no, we've seen every year that he's been a coach, we've gone further. We barely missed the playoffs his first year as head coach. We make the playoffs last year, ends terribly, but we make it. This year,
next step.
It's got to be the next step.
Well, let's watch. Let's see how he answers. Because it was very clearly that he had not the best plan on defense.
Yeah.
How does he answer this upcoming week?
Yeah.
It's a huge week for him.
How do you respond?
Yeah.
It's a big make or break moment for him. But yeah, let's get a little bit deeper before we start talking about firing coaches.
Yeah,
That's
too soon.
Game one. Week one, it's a bit rough to start calling for heads, but I get it. I feel it.
Yeah.
We're all in the fields right now, but LRH388, thank you for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Mickey Coates, who asked the question. For some positivity, can we hear it for our boy Dustin Hopkins, who was 3 for 3 on field goals in the rain yesterday? Happy for him. Can always be happy for the kick man.
Yeah, kick man.
Kick man having success on other teams.
Yeah.
We loved him when he was here and hope he has continued success.
Just not against us.
Just not against us.
Yeah.
That's what we're asking.
Yeah.
Great comment there, Mickey Coates. Thanks, you
Mickey,
for pointing it out. Let's move it on now to OM Run, who asked the question.
Is the best thing about this weekend that we're not the Giants, Bengals, or Steelers? If not the best, then the most comforting. I'm hugging myself with 40-0 given how bad I wanted Daboll for head coach. Let's take what we can get. I know improved offense, but it has such a sting. Herbert could be Superman and still lose on the sideline.
Yeah. Justin and the offense did everything in their power.
Yeah.
They really did. They didn't get the final 2-minute drive, but you can't rely on that after they've
we only punted twice in that game.
Yeah.
It is at least mildly comforting knowing that we're not the only 0-1 team, first of all.
Half the league.
Half the league is 0-1.
The Bills, the Chiefs.
Some of the teams lost pretty miraculously. Like in a way that was like mind-blowing that they lost. 40-0, that's tough to come back from. At the very least, we were competitive. We were in it. We just had some mistakes that didn't go our way. So
there's a lot more to be excited about.
There's so much to be excited about.
It's easy to look at the negatives.
Yeah.
But try and rest on the positives a little bit because we did some good things.
There's some good things still with this team, and it's not a total loss season yet.
No, it's first game.
Yeah. OM Run, thank you for asking the question. Let's move on now to Julio Shameless Optimist Camacho, and shout out to Hank Zilla. Bet you both are in the same vein. I'm going with Julio, who asks the question.
Hello,
bitches. Long-time listener, first-time Ask Boltfam poster. I've been a Charger fan for like 25 years now, and I've been through hell and back with this team. However, I have and will always be an Optimus Prime instead of a Negatron, so I'll give some silver lining to this Sunday's game. Number 1, Rashawn Slater is a motherfucking wall on the blind side. Mwah. Number 2, offense ranked first in EPA per play at .308. I have no idea what that means, but I hear it's good. Offense also ranked first in PFF rush grade, 83.3, rush yards before contact, 88, and 17 runs for first down. Shout out Eric Smith for these stats. We ran for 234 motherfucking yards, which means the preseason was not a fluke. JC Jackson, what the f***ity f***? Sorry. That was a Negatron, not Optimum Prime. I apologize. I digress. I don't know what the word means, but it felt right. I will stay positive because I feel that there were some great positive signs from this game that we can look forward for the rest of the season on offense, and I'm excited to see what the rest of the season with Herbert and the Kellen offense. Finally, my questions for the Shamelessly Positive Pod. By the way, my Twitter handle is in honor of you guys. How do you guys stay positive after the difficult losses? I personally stay off the Negatron hellscape that is Twitter. Take some time away from football and media stuff, and in a couple of days, I'm bolting the fuck up again. KW, bye.
Wow, certified fresh. I've seen your name before. That's why I
think Julio, I believe, is on our Patreon. Okay. I've seen Julio's name. I think you'll see him on the tail of this episode. Yeah. Awesome. So,
yeah, dude, keep this shit coming. Mwah. Chef's kiss.
Some chef's kiss stats to hold on to, folks.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what it means. We like them.
We're first. Good. We're first.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that feels that way when I hear these PFF stats. Like, we're ranked first. Isn't that cool? What does that mean?
Yeah, and I'll tell you, one of the best ways to be shamelessly positive after a game like that is go to sleep. When we got back to the Airbnb, these two boys out like a light.
I went to bed at 5 p.m. and woke up at 7 a.m.
Yeah. It's hard to be negative
when you're sleeping.
When you're sleeping. And anything can happen when you're sleeping. So,
and this is how I get positive.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting in my own thoughts. I'm grumpy. And I'm looking at your goofy ass faces and making me laugh all night. Like, this makes me happy.
Sending pictures to Kevin of how he was sleeping.
I fell asleep like this. Hold on.
I sent a picture to Kyle, or I took a picture of Kyle too when he was asleep. Looked like somebody like balled him up and like threw him into the couch. He was like Peter Griffin when he like falls down the stairs. Like he was just.
I literally fell asleep like this.
With his hand on his head.
So embarrassed.
It's like I was like shamed in my sleep.
We were watching,
I got Kyle, but I don't know if we'll show this one. We'll save that one.
We were watching Talladega Nights and Kevin was snoring like immediately as soon as I turned it on.
Oh.
So that's one way to stay shamelessly positive or deal with a big loss.
Sleep through it.
But
wake up feeling better.
And honestly, there's a lot of people in the Boltfam community that stay shamelessly positive in moments like this. I got to shout out Herbie's mama. Herbie's mama, I don't know if you're listening or not. I don't know if you're a fan of the show, but I when I go to Twitter and I see your handle, I know that you've got something real positive in your back pocket. So I love your tweets.
Keep that up.
And if you're not following Herbie's mama, I highly recommend it because she is my shameless positivity in the sea of darkness that is Twitter. So.
Well, and for me, like, 'cause it's just the Twitter. Today was a great day for me to figure out who I wanted to follow.
The Twitter giveth and the Twitter taketh away.
There were people saying some stuff that like I just fully didn't agree with, and the way they said it was very childish and not cool.
Yeah.
And that's who I know I want to
stick around with. Yeah.
Exactly. So if that's a positive way of looking at today. Go see who's saying stuff you don't appreciate.
If you don't like what they're saying, just block them.
Yeah, it's the block.
It's so easy.
There's a feature for that.
Yeah. There's an app for that.
It's a nice feature.
Yeah. So Julio, shameless optimist Camacho, and Hank Zilla, thank you guys for asking the question. Let's move it on now to Athair Kadir. Who asked the question? Sorry. That's my fault.
It's okay.
Stepping on us.
Charge it, chat! First, love you, my guys, baby! Now to my question. Coach, this is for you. Week 2, we play Tennessee. Do you see Coach Staley make my dream come true and put 7 in the box to force the Titans to beat us with pass or not? Love you, Coach. Thanks, FTI Herbert, 23 MVP, Bolt Super Bowl champs, baby.
Energy.
Yeah.
Love it.
All right. Coach, do we see Coach Staley make the dream come true, putting 7 in the box to force the Titans to beat us with the pass?
No.
No?
No.
I mean, we played the Titans last year, and they looked good with the same running game, same coach, same everything.
Yeah.
And we didn't do it then, so I don't see why we would change things up now. But there will be an emphasis. Obviously, there's going to be an emphasis, and there's going to be keys that take you to the box faster. But that's just not what we do. We don't put 7 in the box. And the whole idea is that Derwin James is that 7th in the box because he can get in there so fast. So I think last week it felt like I saw a lot of JT Woods and Alohi up top with Derwin down in the box.
Yeah.
I think this week you don't see that because then you still have 6 in the box, one of them being Derwin. I think you have 6 in the box plus Derwin up high, probably coming down a little bit quicker. So, but no, I don't think you're not going to get a 4-3 look. Though that third linebacker is going to be Derwin up at 70 yards.
Yeah. Well, I mean, arguably the best person on that Titans team is going to be Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
And so if we can hold Derrick Henry to,
you're not going to have a passing game like what we just ran into.
Right.
It's just not going to happen.
It's not going to be the same thing. No. So it'll be interesting to see though what they end up, how we handle it, how we respond after this week. So Athir Kadir, thank you, buddy, for asking the question. Let's move on now to Friar Bolt, who asked the question.
Well, needless to say, fellas, that kind of sucked. Even with 147 left and 2 timeouts, only down by 2, we had a chance to win. It's only week 1, fellas. The defense will clean it up, and the offense looks strong. I'm honestly more anxious to get the next game started and just sweep this loss under the rug and move on from it. Anyways, my question is, what are some of your favorite fantasy football names this year? Mine is Kicked in the Dicker because that's the way the Chargers make me feel after a loss. Please tell me another better fantasy name pun to use other than Dicker. LMAO, bolt up, kid, love you, bye.
Nice.
Kicked in the Dicker.
That's a good one. You guys have seen Tropic Thunder, right?
Yes.
Big ass TDs.
Yeah.
That's one of my names.
Ah. Good
Blowing
to know.
up the forest. And then I'm a big John Carpenter fan.
Yes.
So I got Snake Plissken is my.
That's a good one.
Those are the 2 that come to my mind.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of some off the top of my head, Rainbow Sherbert. If you got Herbert on your team, that's a good one. Or some other good. There's got to be some other good names for like some of the players.
There used to be like a lot of like Open the Gates and like there's a lot of Rivers and Gates ones, but those don't really apply much any longer.
Yeah, those are the old school fantasy football names. That's how long we've been playing, folks.
Yes.
We've been playing fantasy football since the aughts.
I just looked at I've officially Yahoo keeps track of all the fantasy games you played. I think I played like 680 or 690 games.
How many have you lost?
I'm over 500.
599.
No, I'm well over. I think I'm closer to like 60% wins.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Well, folks, if you've got some funny fantasy football names,
put them down.
Please put them down in the comments. It's late for us. It's hard to be funny when it's late.
Yeah, we just flew all the way home just a few minutes ago. I'm tired.
And boy, our arms tired.
We will be back with more energy shortly. I promise.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Friar Bolt, thank you for asking the question. And we go out of Ask Boltfam with Jeeves.
The D is silent.
Who asked the question?
Motherfucker. God damn it, motherfucker. Fire all these motherfuckers Trade Herbert, trade Bosa, trade all these motherfuckers. I'm motherfucking sick and I'm motherfucking tired. I'm motherfucking sick and tired. Attack the touchdown. A-back the touchdown. I thought we made a football move, man, but whatever. The replay in that stadium is the real crime. It's just bad, man. Oh, on a high note, I saw the guys, man. I saw the Charger Chat guys. Yeah, man, it was crazy cool, man. We even took one of those selfie things, man. Bulldog just kind of like popped out from behind someone and like a peek-booed the shit out of me, bro. It was awesome, man. Just saying there's some good that came out of Sunday, man. Motherfucker, maybe you're motherfucking right. Okay, motherfucker, you win. I'm back in, motherfucker, but I got some questions. When is this defensive guru going to start guruing? Because damn, motherfucker, I know Tyreek is fast, but god damn it, motherfucker, what happened to stuffing them at the line and throwing off the timing? Motherfucker. I know. All right, motherfucker. When will all three of those Charger Chat motherfuckers be at a game again? I gotta go. This motherfucking team is gonna be the death of me. Sam Jack's out, motherfucker. Oh, yeah, and fuck the motherfucking Raiders. And they're in first place, which doesn't matter right now, but it still pisses me off, motherfucker. Can't love you, bye. God damn it, be shameless and positive, motherfuckers.
Oh, my God. You made yourself laugh.
It was funny. I was sitting, I think I might have been talking to Kevin, and like just out of the corner of my eye, I just see that mountain of a man that is Jeeves sauntering through Thunder Alley, and I kind of do that like sideways like look at him, and I'm like I just start pointing at him. He doesn't make eye contact with me. I just point at him, just waiting for him to look at me, and as soon as he makes eye contact, I'm like, Jeeves. Get your ass over here.
Oh my God.
So good to see you, Jeeves, at Thunder Alley, man.
That was so fun.
Put a huge smile on my face to see you, bud. But yes, as far as your question, yes. When is the defensive guru going to start guruing? Because, yeah, soon, hopefully.
I hope this is just a long game he's playing. He's looking incompetent, doesn't know what he's doing. And next thing you know, he attacks with guru, like quickness and agileness.
He's at the poker table. He's hiding his cards, and he throws out a bluff or something like that.
He lays down a 7-2. Take that, bitches.
Yeah, he lays out a 7-2. It doesn't quite work out, but he sets the pace
he's
for future games to come.
Right.
No, this is
you're going to think it's a bluff. Oh, it ain't a bluff.
Are we good at defense?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't.
Put your chips down if you want to
play football. I'm not sure. Only time will tell.
I'm not sure.
Verdict is out.
All right. Well, there you go, Jeeves. Thank you for asking the question. And thank you, everybody, for asking questions and Ask Boltfam. It's tough to put on a smile after a loss, especially when we were there live to see it in person. But time heals all wounds.
It does.
And truly, every one of you that has said something nice really makes our day. Believe me, it's hard to go through Twitter, but we do. And every one of you that has reached out or said something positive, we appreciate it so much. It makes our day better for sure.
I like being around positive people, man. It's just more fun to be around.
Yeah,
just a fact.
Yeah. So that is going to do it for us here at Charger Chat. Any final thoughts, gentlemen?
I had an amazing time with you guys at the game.
Yes,
I was telling this when Kyle left early, had to get home to his kiddos. I was like, we were sitting there like, I miss Kyle.
Yeah.
Like we're all together. We're together for these short periods of time.
It's so short. It's
just
over
enough.
before you know it.
Yeah. So I missed you, bro. And I'm glad we got to have an awesome weekend and a couple bad hours at the end, but everything, it was worth it. I'll do it all over again.
100%.
And then to answer Jeeves' second question, we're going to the Broncos game, is what I think.
Yeah.
It's okay. I had a last thought.
Yes. No, that's good.
The next home game was
we're definitely the Broncos game in December. That is the plan.
That's our hope.
Yeah, that's the hope. That's the dream. And hopefully that will all come to fruition. But yes, sorry. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us here at Charger Chat, folks. Don't forget to bolt up because we're ready for any squad, any place.
Okay, love you. Bye, motherfucker.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Motherfucker. I love you. Bye.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Did your football team have a bad game on Sunday? Got a player that needs a hard reset? Then come on down to Reset the Vet. We take those vets, put them under our shirts, blow on them, and they're good as new. So if you've got a glitchy vet that just ain't playing like they used to, then come on down to Reset the Vet and get your vet playing right today. Warning, if your vet suffered a season-ending injury, more blowing may be required. Not guaranteed in states that have the letter A in the name.